Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to the end of the Oxford Summer Academy Plus dinner and the gala dinner. It's been for some of us, it's been 6 long weeks. So Judd, who was the first person to arrive on the course, with your jet lagged with your suitcase nearly 6 weeks ago on Sunday. It's been a long old kind of stint, and Claudio, you've nearly matched him with the 5.5 weeks. But even those that have only spent 2 weeks here, I hope that you have found your visit to Oxford an interesting one. I was really worried at the start of this 2-week course, particularly when we started in the welfare room, that nobody was going to say anything at all. But then I found Yevgeny and Boris and Claudio, who couldn't stop kind of yabbering and chatting away, which is good. And then we also found a new bowling star, I think, in Seb last night, which is pretty impressive. Seb, you really hadn't done any bowling before.
Yeah.
It's the first time. That's really impressive. So yeah, really good, really enjoyable time. I'm not going to keep tonight really long, because I know you've got lots of things that you want to do. But this course was something that we have never done before. It was a pilot. You know, there are just 11 of you. This is not, you know, a massive course that's been running for years and years, and it's something that to be honest, I kind of, when I came to work for Oxford Summer Academy, I said, look, I think we really have to try this. It's something I believe strongly in, and it's something that I kind of sold to the overall kind of director as something that we should really try. I was a bit worried earlier on in the year when we had like 3 people signed up, and was wondering whether or not this was even going to run. But obviously we've got to 11 of you, and I think from the interviews that I did with many of you earlier today, you've really got something out of it. Whether that's been help with writing your personal statements, whether that's been the visits to the universities, whether that's been just socialising with other people and talking about the courses that you're thinking about applying to do. There are a number of people that I need to thank in the course, and I think you need to thank them too. The first person that I would like to thank is Thomas. Most of you haven't seen Thomas up until now, but he's taken lots and lots of really good photos. So a nice big round of applause for Thomas. Thank you for all that. The other people are, most of them aren't here, but in fact all of them aren't here, but the ENT staff that have worked over the last 2 weeks. So we've had everyone from Ben, to Jemima, to George, Rhiannon, all of those guys have been kind of ENT staff on this course, and I think in their absence we ought to give them a bit of a round of applause as well. The other person that you've probably come across on emails, or certainly your parents probably have, but you haven't ever met, is Jen Deere. Without her, my year would have been an absolute nightmare. She's kind of kept all the admin together and made sure that this course is run really well. So big thank you to Jen in her absence. The 2 most important people, or 2 of the most important people, I should say, of this last 2 weeks have been your mentors, and they're both here tonight. And so I know that you guys have gained a lot from what they've provided you. So a really big thanks to both Sophie and Antonia for giving you expert tuition. Now, I said this at the other two dinners, but I kind of can genuinely mean it even more now at the end of 6 weeks. Patrick and Sarah have been fantastic. They've kind of given up their summer really to come and work in Oxford in a very hot year with a pretty rubbish fan, and I think they're both looking forward to getting to their own beds, not Teddy Hall beds, and maybe trying to get a good night's sleep. But they've been absolutely fantastic, and they've given up so much time for you guys, and you know, and Sarah as well with the driving as well, being your minibus driver. I know that you want to thank them as well. So big round of applause. So as far as I'm concerned, those are the big thank yous. All it remains for me to do is to hand out your certificates and wish you guys a really good application process. And what I'll be really interested is to see how many of you do end up at Bath or Bristol or you know, Exeter or Southampton or Warwick or Reading. I don't think many of you will be heading for Reading, but you never know. Or UCL or King's or here in Oxford. If you're ever here in Oxford, obviously I'm going to be living here, so come and say hello. Or Cambridge or wherever. Before I give out the certificates, which I'll do in a minute, I just wanted to reflect on a couple of highlights from the past 2 weeks. Although I wasn't there, I hear that apparently Yevgeny and Ben was robbed in the go-karting.
Ben robbed it.
But was Ben
thought of arriving first, and in the end he arrived just ahead of me.
Did Ben deserve to be disqualified?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah.
No.
Theo was the one that was the most dangerous.
Theo was the most dangerous. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
imagine that there are 3 cars and Theo decides to press, and just one time I went to the
Maybe I shouldn't have reopened these
It was just
Okay, all right. So the go-karting was one highlight. Another highlight I definitely think was the epic game of Risk that was definitely played, and the fact that you actually went out and bought a Risk board. By the way, who is taking the Risk board home? Oh, Boris is taking it home.
They were playing.
I think. Are you not playing tonight to determine who's going to actually get the Risk board? But I thought that was really nice. But more generally, aside from the trips and aside from the games and the evening activities, what I think has been really nice is that tonight all of you have sat together and been able to talk and chat and have a joke and have a laugh with each other, and that for me is kind of the most heartwarming thing about this this program. I hope that you 11 will stay in touch with each other. One of the things that I think is unique about this course compared to the course, the other 2 courses, is that you all have got the explicit and stated aim of applying to UK for university. So most of you at some point will be in the UK again together, because you're all roughly the same age, studying. Now it might not be at the same university, but it might be the ability to speak to each other or spend a weekend. A weekend down in Exeter or a weekend in London with some of the Warwick, with some of the friends that you've made here. So I really hope that continues. So I'd like to hand out the certificates. I'm going to read them out in alphabetical order via your first name. When you come and shake my hands. Thomas will take a photo for you, and we need to keep the clapping going for the next 11 people. So First up, we've got the first person for the Oxford Summer Academy Plus programme is Boris Semler. Like that, there we go. Oh, come on, Thomas. There we go. Brilliant. And next up, we have Claudio Gorini. And next up, Dmitry Bogdanov. And next up, we've got Han Cheng Seb Huang.
Also known as Bombo.
There we go, Seb. Next up, we have Hamilton Super Job Manfred.
Hail the Lord.
Next up, we've got Kelvin Chung. Next up, we've got Pamathamapon Tusharian, otherwise known as Mild. And you're going to teach me how to pronounce it at the end. Next up, we have Theo Sibertin Wong.
Why you made Atakor? What's Atakor isn't good. Just search. Just say.
Next up, we have Fashanok Tielamsam, otherwise known as Tam. Keep clapping that Next up we have Yevgeny Kogan. And finally, and I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, Yinhua Doris Bao.
Other jobs name was your new name. Like I finally
thank you.
Job's name.
So that guys, that leaves me. All I need to do is thank you guys. Thank you guys once again for everything. Thank you for being a part of the pilot program. You know, I think it's been a real success, but the only reason it has been a success is because you guys have made it a success. So thank you once again, and enjoy your last evening in Oxford.